Okay, I want to talk about the hardware. And the hardware is basically a hi-hat stand, a snare stand, a straight cymbal stand, and then a boom cymbal stand. So let's start with the snare stand. Basically, you have a wing nut here. You loosen it up and you can pull the three legs out like this, where it's got some stability. And then you stick this other part, which basically is the basket. And here's where you adjust the basket, which holds the snare drum. We can talk about that later. Once you get the snare drum in the basket, which is this part here, you'll make the adjustment for the angle of the snare drum, depending on how you play the snare drum. It's an individual thing. Underneath this basket is this thing which will tighten the basket on the bottom of the snare drum. Okay, now let's set up the hi-hat stand. All right, the hi-hat stand is probably the most involved piece of hardware that we have because it's got many, many options. First of all, let's stabilize this bottom part of the hi-hat stand by opening these three legs here like this. It also, like the bass drum pedal, has a pedal you use with your foot. If you're a right-handed drummer, you put your right foot on the bass drum and your left foot on this pedal, which holds the hi-hat cymbals. For convenience, you can swivel these three legs like this. This is great for if you play double bass drum pedals. Later on, if you get a double pedal, you can maneuver these legs so that the other pedal will fit in here nicely. Like the bass drum pedal, you attach with these rods here to the two holes that are supplied on the base of the hi-hat pedal. We position this the way we like it. You want this part down here flat on the ground, but you want the stability with the legs, and then you can tighten with this wing nut like that. See, now we have stability. You'll see this little feature here. These little grooves, what happens with these is that you can create more or less tension on the pedal board by adjusting. You lift this lever here like this, up, and you can spin this around and set it in a different groove. And it will create more tension when you set this higher. Like this is as high as it will go. There's more tension on that pedal board than if you go to the lowest point where there's less tension.
Okay, once you have your tripod in place, keep this tightened. We're going to move over to our extension rod. This is what allows you to keep your hi-hats moving up and down. So once you have this in there, let's keep this tight. Okay, once we have that in there, keep that tight. And this is our tube, and this also has a memory lock, so let's keep it loose right now until you find the height you like. Okay? So now that we have that there, let's just fasten this for right now, keep this loose, and we'll start with our bottom cymbal here. As you can see on this hi-hat stand, it has a tilter for your bottom cymbal, so wherever you like your cymbal, you can get more of a splashy sound if it's tilted up to the top cymbal, or I like to just keep it even. So once that's set, we'll place our cymbal onto the extension arm. I'll move over to the top hi-hat, and we'll go over to our clutch. This is a unique device because once you have the cymbals fastened on the bottom, you take your nut. Once it's on there, you put it onto the rod, and once you tighten the top up, the bottom automatically locks in place. Let's take our clutch off and place our top cymbal on here. Once again, one felt up on top, placing the cymbal inside with the felt on the bottom, locking the nut tightly, placing it back on the rod, and I like to just drop it, basically, until I get the height I like from here. Okay, so we drop our cymbal in place, keeping it loose until you find out what a comfortable spot for you is. You want to go higher, you want to go lower. If you want more of a chick or a louder sound, you keep it open more.
This is the straight cymbal stand, and it's in three pieces. First is called the bass. We position this so that the cymbal will be stable when you hit it. If it's a crash cymbal or ride cymbal, And then you take the second part of the three-piece setup, you slide this in like this, and you can position it to whatever height you want. And then the third piece goes in, also into a plastic sleeve. Tighten this down. You unscrew the top here like this. This gives you flexibility on how you want to angle your cymbals. Some people like to have their cymbals flat. If it's a crash cymbal, some people like to angle it in like this. If a ride cymbal goes on here, it's the same thing. A lot of times people like to have the ride cymbal angled, and you can do that with this this piece right here. Okay, let's go to the boom cymbal stand. It has the same base. It's a tripod like this. By the way, I want to mention these rubber feet here are amazing. So this is great for, you won't find these things sliding on the floor at all. Same base as the other cymbal stand. Same second piece of piping that goes into that plastic sleeve. Position it the way you want to. And now the difference here, and why we call it a boom stand, is that this piece goes in like this, and it can act like a straight stand, as we did with the other one, or we can create what we call a boom. And what it does is that for getting into tight places, or if you can't get your cymbal stand in real close, you can pull this rod out like this, and then there's another wing nut on the other side that gives you flexibility to bend this like this.
And once you get your placement, just tighten that up and go in and out as far as height, if you like. And what I'll do now, I'll show you how the cymbal goes. Right here's another tilter, so you could go from here to here, tilting on whatever angle you like. So we'll start here. Take the cymbal felt. So it comes with two felts, one bottom, and put this one on top of the cymbal. And the great thing about this is it has a nylon cymbal washer, which is great because you won't damage your cymbals there. So what you want to do is tighten this down as pretty much as tight as it can go. A lot of people tend to tighten cymbals down too much, and that's what actually makes the cymbals crack. So with this is the best way, having the flexibility.